Hello, welcome to another Black History Moment, reading from Black Saga. 1515. Slave-grown sugar shipped from West Indies to Spain. The first shipment of sugar grown by slave labor was shipped from the West Indies. In 1517, Bartolomé de las Casas, a Spanish missionary, urged bringing more African slaves to the area to replace Indian slaves and laborers. He was a protector of the Indian peoples, an advocate for more humane treatment of them. Las Casas later regretted enslaving Africans. 1518. Spanish-American colonies licensed to receive slaves. King Charles of Spain, successor of King Ferdinand, granted a license called the asiento for the shipment of black slaves directly from Africa to the Spanish-American colonies. Previously, they had been taken to Europe and Christianized before being sent to the West Indies. This act was to have major consequences on the Americas, since it allowed companies or individuals to supply African slaves as labor to the colonies. Spanish settlers in the West Indies had tried unsuccessfully to use conquered Indians for labor in the fields and mines. The Indian peoples had succumbed to diseases introduced by Europeans and were considered by the settlers unsuitable for demanding agricultural labor. 1519 to 1520. Africans travel with Cortez in Mexico. An estimated 300 Africans accompanied the Spanish explorer Hernando Cortez in his conquest of Mexico. 1522. Slave revolt in Hispaniola. The first slave revolt in Hispaniola occurred in 1522. Reports noted that approximately 40 African slaves, apparently reacting to harsh laws passed to control them, killed their masters and escaped to the hills. Later, new legislation was passed to ensure that slaves were treated with more consideration. For example, slave families could not be separated by sale. Planters in Hispaniola were required to baptize their slaves and send them to Mass on Sunday. On paper, at least, it seems that slaves could buy their freedom for $300. But this law, like many others, was ignored in practice. Thank you for listening to this Black History Moment.